Hi, Cindy Cross here from the Post and Rail, and this is my first tutorial on how to do a classic country bunch of flowers. Now it's not fancy, but there's rules to these making bunches that I think is really important, and so I'd like to share them with you. They're the 3 F's. Now don't go crazy, they're not the F's you think. They're actually foliage, filler and focal. And if you get these 3 right, you can make an amazing bunch of flowers with just 3 types of plants or cut things, and it just looks, it's classic. So it's not modern, it's not, you know, sometimes a bunch of flowers can be as simple as just 1 type of flower, which is great, but this is just combining 3 lovely things that you may have in the garden already. And if you use the formula for foliage, in this case is some blue some blue leafed gum. One of them is coming up in the garden as a blue gum seedling. And some thryptomene here is my filler, and a protea is my focal. Now we do it in that order as well, so foliage first, then the filler, and at the very last comes the focal. And that is perhaps if you happen to be lucky enough to have tulips in your garden and you want to put them in your bunch of flowers. You don't want to put them in first because they're delicate. So always the focal plants go in last, and by the time you muck around with the foliage and the filler, you'll sort of know where they need to go. The only main rule with the focal is needs to be an odd number. So 3, 5, 7 looks good, but 2 flowers and nothing else doesn't. So this is just going to be a round bunch. Now I'm going to go ahead, I'll probably cut a bit of this out. I'm going to cut this foliage down into manageable pieces, and we need to strip the stem. So if I'm putting this bit in the part above the vase, the bit that's going in the water needs to be removed of foliage, because that will make them rot quicker and break down a lot quicker. So I'm actually going to cut them into manageable pieces, and just using my hands, strip that bit of stem so there's not going to be no leaves in the water when it's done. So bear with me while I just remove these. It's such a beautiful day, I had to come outside and do this. So that's the foliage stems. See how they've got stem and foliage up there, so that's quite cute. You can remove any really bad bits, and because these are from the garden, yeah, there's holes and stuff in the leaf, but I'm still going to take it anyway. So it's always good, as in food preparation, it's good to do your mise en place or your preparation, so that when it comes time to putting your bunch together, you're not trying to remove leaves, side shoots, while your hands are kind of tied up literally in a minute, and you'll see what I mean. So here's the thryptomene. Now this one's called Supernova, it's a white one, and it's in bud and ready to come out, so you probably can't quite see. I'll just show you up close if you can. Oh, yeah, there you go. You can see it's in bud, and there's going to be lots of flowers coming soon. So in the time it takes for this bunch to last inside, which I think at least a week, in that time they will have opened, and it's better to sort of get plants and flowers on the cusp of flowering rather than completely open if you're picking them for yourself. So I've got enough of the thryptomene there. And then the last one was foliage, filler, focal. And this is the proteas. Now what I like to do is just use my hand and go against the direction of where the leaf's coming. Need a few muscles. If you're not strong enough in your hands, or it's not stripping easily, you can always use some secateurs. But it's time consuming, and you know me, if there's a quicker way to do it, I'm more interested. There we go. So everything is now ready. Now I've got 5 of these proteas. And I mean, realistically, those 3 in a vase, as they are, it's pretty, okay? But you're only ever going to get that much of a display. So this is just taking a few things from the garden. Right, well this is what I was taught. So you grab a few stems, and you can already see I'm TPing the stems in my hand, just from the way I've held them. Now I'm going to cross them in like this, creating a TP of stems. And what this is doing is creating a framework so that you can hold this in your hands Don't forget the middle. And so there I've just got a crisscross of stems in my hand. The foliage is kind of waiting the next bit, and you sort of poke them in from all the directions so that you get an even kind of pyramid underneath. Don't worry about the length of stem at the moment. We'll cut them after we've put the bouquet together. So that's it there. Next goes the filler. Usually the foliage goes sort of right on the outside perimeter, and then the filler is kind of the, I guess this is the foundation to the lipstick, which the Protea is the lipstick. So we're just getting this all in place and making a nice, so I've sort of threaded that into the middle and the foliage is on the outer. And the only reason that went in so easy is because I made that TP shape with the foliage to start with. So it's a strong framework at the moment. I've got it just holding it in my thumb and forefinger, and it's not hard work. And here we go. So another little tip I can give you is I've picked these Proteas at different stages. You can see that a couple of them are quite open. They're still only young, so they've got quite a bit of opening to go. But I picked, see that cute little bud one just there that I'm bringing to the front? That hasn't opened yet, okay? So there's a bit of a rule. The bigger the flower, or the more open the flower, the closer to the bottom of the bouquet it does. Which I guess in transverse is the bud flower I want at the top. There we go. So that one's sort of central. This bouquet, by the way, I'm making it, this is a classic bouquet. So this is a look at it from all the way around kind of view. If you're doing it to be up against a wall and you want, and no one's going to see the back of it, you would do it higher in the back. It's a totally another different way of doing it, which we haven't really prepared for today, but we'll just do this basic one. 2, 3. So I'm just threading it through, and because I haven't squeezed my thumb and forefinger super tight together, they haven't actually squeezed all the branches at the bottom. So there's a bit of, look at that. There you go. So it's very loose, it's very country. You could add more things to it, but I mean, that's just a few things from the garden, really. It wasn't hard, it was 2 seconds to put together. There's general guidelines as to how you vase your bunch of flowers. Now the general rule is, and it's general, so feel free to totally change it, but for me it's a classic. This is a classic combination. It's 1/3 the vase in height, 2/3 the flowers above. So anything that is that size, 2 above, it works. So if I put it in there, yes, it would look nice, something that height, it would be okay, but realistically this bunch was meant for this gorgeous rustic bucket. So we've got 1/3 on the bottom, 2/3 of the height above, and absolutely stunning. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope you give it a go. This could be one of many. There's heaps and heaps of tricks of doing home bunches and just having fun with it. There's a heap of tips on using the Oasis Floral Foam. So much easier than what you think, and I really enjoy cutting a bunch of flowers for myself. When you learn how to do it, and it's the 3 F's, don't forget: foliage, filler, focal. In that order, you put the foliage first, then the filler, and then your bright centerpieces. And they could be roses, sunflowers, tulips, so many things that are peonies. I'd love them. That would be divine if I had, you know, just some peonies lying around. However, these Proteas are pretty fantastic, and King Proteas, obviously. So have some fun and experiment, and let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.